Hey everybody, welcome back to The Help Action, where we play Dungeons & Dragons for charity. It is episode 28 today. We are doing a little bit of a wrap-up episode today, where we conclude some things, and we will be going on a break. We'll tell you about that here in a minute, but first and foremost, we are playing for charity, and to talk about the charity that we've been supporting since the start of the campaign, Iris, bring your talents to the table for us.
Thanks, Evan. So, the charity we are supporting tonight is the Transgender Law Center. Founded in 2002, the Transgender Law Center is the largest trans-specific trans-legal organization in the United States. Their tireless efforts to defend and advance the rights of transgender and gender non-conforming people have resulted in precedent-setting victories in areas including employment, prison conditions, education, immigration, and healthcare. In addition to their legal work, they also organize community-specific programs such as Black Trans Circles, the Disability Project, the Black LGBTQIA+ Migrant Project, and Positively Trans that inform and empower trans and gender non-conforming folks across America. I don't know when Pride Week is where you live, but here in Seattle, this is traditionally Pride Week, so it's kind of a week to celebrate the LGBTQ+ community. But in recent years, trans people have been a bit of a wedge issue that malcontents have been trying to use to divide the queer community. Supporting groups like the Transgender Law Center is more important now than ever before. So, if you have like a buck or two to toss into the pot through the Tiltify link in the chat, you can also provide a little message that we'll read on air after the show. You can ask characters questions. You can just say hi or something. But yeah, every little bit helps. If you can find just a little bit of a way to toss a buck or two along, that would be super cool. Thanks so much and happy Pride.
Thank you, Iris. To figure out where and when we do this, you can find us on the web at various locations, but we do have one hub where you can find all that information easily. Nero, where's that?
Yeah, it's thehelpaction.com. It has a big button at the top for donations, just in case you forget what Tiltify is. We got you. There's links to, Twitch, where you are right now. There's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and there's a link to our email where you can send us fun and nice things only.
No mean stuff.
No mean stuff.
Only nice things, please.
Only nice things. Yeah, it's Pride. Come on. In addition to that, all of our past episodes, if you're catching up and viewing for the first time with us tonight, those are available on our YouTube. We upload those as quickly as we can after each episode airs. And then we do have a little bit of a schedule change coming up here for the next couple weeks. Tommy and Robin, what's going on with that?
That's right. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. And then we're back. And then our cats will destroy a green screen. But we are taking a little 2-week break as we finish up this leg of the campaign, and start the next leg of our many-legged campaign.
Yeah.
Thousands of legs.
Wow.
What starts on one leg and then walks on one leg? Sorry.
It's kind of like a sculpture, just shoes.
Yeah.
It's like those creepy sand sculptures. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
But we will, I know exactly what you're talking about. They're still out there. We will be, taking a 2-week hiatus. So please enjoy the break. Let the absence make your heart grow fonder. And we will see you on the other side of that for some exciting new adventures with better versions of ourselves.
On July 14.
July 14 is the day we will be back. We haven't planned anything yet, but if we do have a little bit of spare time in there, maybe we'll hop on and do a bonus action episode. Maybe we'll do some of our little fireside out of character talks. All of that will TBD. Will be to be determined. And you can find our information on that on our Twitter or Instagram or any of those other places where we make our announcements. All those links are at thehelpaction.com. Without then any further announcements to make, we can go ahead and jump into tonight's episode as we do a nice bit of closure here for a lot of loose ends. So Previously, the party had entered into Wave Echo Cave with 2 goals in mind. One, to make sure that they could find and stop the Black Spider, which they were successful in after defeating the drow that had harried them since the start of their adventure. And proceeding further into the cave, they came across a room that had in it a single blue flame that, through its sheer arcane power, was able to actually illuminate the weave around it, which is this layer of reality that binds all things and allows magic to happen. However, the forge there was guarded by a aberration, a beholderkin, that was consuming and eating both the magic there and was drawn to do the same to many of the magic items and spells and magical effects that the party had on their person or decided to throw at it during a big full episode battle from the last episode. But eventually, as the party emerged victorious, heavily scuffed up, and with some memories of unintentional betrayal behind them, they defeated the Beholderkin, and as such, that magical blue flame sucked itself back onto the brazier, where it exploded and suffused the entire party with magic, granting them all the benefits of both a long rest and the procedure to level 5. And we finished out last night's episode doing just a little bit more exploring around the area, finding a few little items here and there, and rolling for our new hit points. So we start today with our first full session at level 5, and we're just going to sort of go through the last of this little bit of dungeon and then do a little bit of wrap up, and that's about it. So where you now stand is here in the Forge of Spells, with the no longer present body of this Beholderkin already vanished into thin air, returning to whence it came, and the small flickering blue light hovering gently above the brazier, ley lines in perfect geometry around it as before, no longer dazzling your eyes, but just sort of a beautiful spectacle you've come to accept. At the end of the last episode, Glass, you had made your way into the small room to the north of this chamber and done a little bit of digging, found another small workshop area, and come back with a small, what looks like a ring box, inside of which you found a single needle. And then in addition to that, right before we cut last time, you had all mentioned that you wanted to do a little bit of searching around in this room before you departed. So whoever is heading up that investigation, go ahead and make your investigation check, and we will proceed from there.
I can make the check.
Okay.
And Nero, can I say, come on, brain, something funny. Find it real good, and I'll give you a bardic inspiration.
Sick.
Right.
And that would just be advantage on this roll, or
You get a plus
it's
a.
plus?
Oh my gosh, it's a D8 now, ain't
It
it?
is a
Oh,
D8.
okay.
Welcome to level 5.
Whoa!
Look at that.
Fancy.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Alright, team.
investigate so hard.
So you can use it on this, or you could save it if you feel like you rolled really well.
I'll use it. I'll probably use it.
Well, okay.
Oh, look at my new spell slots.
Well, I actually got a 19. So
Okay.
So yeah, just save it for,
Cool. So
Save it
as
for
the
you
next check.
peer around the chamber, very methodically going from shelf to shelf. Let me actually go ahead and make sure that I have the map up here for everybody.
What?
There we go.
wow, there's
Hey.
us.
There you are. As you peer around this chamber, you can see sort of to the southeast and the northwest, there are tables that sort of form these L shapes, all covered with the various implements, several of which had been thrown at you psionically during battle. Among them, on the northwestern table, you find what at first looked like, due to the sort of scrap of leather on top of it, 2 sections of a short sword, but now as you lift that leather away, a complete sword in and of itself.
Wow.
Wow.
For me?
Did he ever
That's it.
already got a pretty cool one?
Oh, that's true.
The pommel of this short sword is shaped like a sunburst, and anyone proficient in religion looking at this item, go ahead and make a religion check
I
for me.
think I am proficient in Well, and not proficient in religion. Sure, I'll check it out.
Go for it.
I'll give it a peek. Oh, that's going to be a 19. So yes, I am religioning the hell out of this sword.
19. You look at this and immediately recognize the sunburst on the pommel as the symbol of Lathander, the Morning Lord.
That's
Which
the
is-
sunburst of Lathander, the Morning Lord.
As
Yeah.
far as you know, a traditionally very good aligned and lawful aligned deity.
Cool.
Nerd, if you will.
So yeah, this is there's some sort of magical properties imbued within this sword.
Hopefully.
Most
Yeah.
certainly. You can
Does
see as you
Oleander's
sort of
skin
pull it
burn when
out
she
and get
touches
it even a little bit closer to the brazier where that blue light flickers, the weave around it almost seems to shift and condense near it, almost like the graphs you see of like gravitational pull, how they sort of bend in towards the middle. All the lines sort of seem to be drawn towards it, much as they're drawn to some of the other magical implements that you carry.
I hold the sword out at Oleander and say, like, hey, if you touch this, do you die?
Let's not find out.
Okay.
I would prefer not to get righteously gored with a sword today.
It's probably good.
I
Does
get
anyone
it.
Want to, would you like to hold on to this sword glass?
Let's.
Let's try to gather what we can, and then we'll
Yeah.
give a whole
Put it all in a-
maybe later.
Identify.
Yeah, I'll put it in the bag of holding for now.
Yeah, we can divvy it up later.
In addition to that, the thorough search of the room with your 19 also finds what looks like a ceramic jug on the southeastern table. And as you pull the lid open and look into it, it looks like molten bronze, but as you sort of turn it, inside it has a very sort of viscous look to it, and it is cool to the touch.
Ooh, weird.
Okay.
This looks.
Well, we'll drink it at the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we transport this stuff by putting it into the bag of holding without it like spilling everywhere, or does it have like a lid?
Yeah, the lid that is there looks like it sort of pops into place with like a
Oh.
small ring of cork around the top.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Put it in
I-
the bag.
I turn it upside down first and shake it to see if anything happens.
I know,
like
like
you and many other pleased with themselves Dairy Queen employees, it does not spill.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was
Stays
thinking.
inside.
I know, good.
Just kind of volleyball punt that into the bag.
Perfect. All right. So as you secure,
Volleyball punt.
You know,
I think you mean a serve.
Classic sports doer, Nero.
Yeah.
I don't know about punting volleyball.
Ambrose is filled with such like youthful vigor from like sticking his hand in and out of this like fire. Like I'm wilding out. I'm
You're
going
all your leave mirthful right now.
Yeah, becoming a jock in real time.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick my hand through that fire. Do I get my bardic inspiration back?
as you hover your hand through it, no, you do not.
Damn.
But you will recall that any physical items that are not creatures that pass through the flame did for a unknown amount of time become magical.
Right. I was just thinking because you said it feels like you take a rest every time we.
It feels that way. It's refreshing. It's renewing. But it was that initial burst of energy that had enough to actually provide a rejuvenating effect.
Okay, I just stick my
Don't-
rapier and my crossbow
Don't be
in.
greedy.
And they are both, for the moment, being +1.
right,
Rapier
cool.
and
Thank
crossbows.
Hell yeah. Should we identify the stuff here and now, or should we head
Let's-
back to...
Let's see what else this Cave of Wonders for us.
Sure.
Need to make a couple
I
rolls
also-
really fast.
Let's go save that man who we were.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did kind
Yeah,
of
we
lock
left
him in a
Undrin
room.
in there.
We should probably let him know everything's okay. Let's wait to identify this stuff until later and focus on clearing this.
I don't like this.
dungeon.
I don't like those faces Evan's making.
I just rolled really, really well. Your rapier will be magical for the next 10 hours, and your crossbow will be magical for 9.
All right.
Wow!
I hope I get in a fight.
Juiced up. Very impressive.
Cool.
As you're about to leave the room and sort of thinking about this effect of imbuing these weapons like this, Ambrose, you probably being the most familiar with the arcane, will you just make a straight Arcana check for me?
Yeah. Can do that.
At least in an academic sense, more so than a practical sense.
Yeah.
You'll have your inspiration if you need it.
26.
You don't.
Real smart.
My stats are so big and strong now.
You effectively conclude, after sort of the battle before, and seeing that this flame is still no more than between sort of candle and very weak torch size, sort of flickering back and forth, that being fed off of for so long has probably irreparably damaged it. And that the fact that things that you are placing in there seem to have a limited time effect on them, at one point that would not have been the case. But now it seems it has been damaged to a point that doing any sort of permanent enchantment here would be difficult without some very significant repair.
Okay.
Oh, I think we might know a couple dwarves who could get this forge back up and running.
2.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge forge guy.
Do we want to grab Nundro? Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nundro.
Let's
Do we
go.
grab Nundro and take him back over here now that the danger is
I think we should
subsided?
reunite him with his brother.
Yeah, let's
Let's reunite him.
Yeah, that's
first.
probably best first. Then we'll let them know what we saw so that they can make their own way in here at their own pace.
All right.
Mhm.
So let me go ahead. And
Shall we head back to him?
let's do it.
Sure.
Did we want to head back to him first, or did we want to look around? real
Yeah,
quick?
was
I
there any
probably
spot
would
that-
look around up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's a solid
By this time, you are no longer trapped in here by the fire that was raging sort of outside the doors from the
Nice.
alchemist fire that was thrown there. That has sputtered and faded. There's still sort of the occasional sort of lick of flame across the ground, but it's safe enough to traverse without burning yourselves badly. Thankfully.
Gee, guys, I'm glad this didn't burn the whole place down. Or
Well,
destroy
it's
all-
an underground cavern, so I don't know how much damage I could do.
I don't know how fire works.
You
I'm
never,
afraid.
you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to zoom all the way out here and give you a good idea of everything you've seen so far.
Damn.
Whoa.
And I will go ahead and move you over to the vault. Where?
Work.
Put you here.
We
Where-
were so close to the
None.
we were so close to the forge earlier when Glass
Yeah.
had that bad feeling.
Yeah, I got that weird feeling.
Mm.
It's okay. I'm glad we fought Black Spider first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That was the
time
right
wise,
move.
yeah, worked out better.
Gotta sleep in.
Just as a DM note, I think I said this at the end of the last episode, but I did not today. You recall that you were drawn in that direction by that voice that Glass had heard? That voice was not the same voice as the Guardian of the Forge. And so that is something that either can be looked into or not. It was continuing to get louder and more clear in the direction of the Forge, should you wish to go back that way.
Only I felt it.
Correct. And you
Do y'all
recognize the way in which it was communicating with you was similar to the sort of way you receive information and ideas through your Detect Thoughts spell.
Yeah. Let's check this this room south of the Black Spider's
Oh yeah.
corpse real quick.
Sure.
south of this creepy.
So passing through the chamber that still holds the dead bodies of the doppelganger, the Black Spider herself, and all of her spider companions, you traipse you through, either admiring or being a little gassed at your own handiwork. You head down to the massive double doors at the southern end of the temple here. The large statue of the seated dwarf still glaring at you from the seated throne at the back of the room with those glowing jeweled eyes. Now, as you're just making your way through the door, making any checks.
Should we check?
Yeah, I'll put an ear up to the door and listen.
I'll do that right next to you.
All right, make each of you make a perception check then.
That is one day I'll know my stats off the top of my head. 17.
14.
Okay. You pause, place an ear to the door, and it's quiet. You steady your breathing and make sure, but no. You can place your hand on the two handles. You can see that the door has these two large brass handles on it that have had sort of a broken stave shoved through them. And you are immediately glad that you entered the way that you came, and that this way would have been impassable to you, but easy enough to slide that out and then push the two double doors open.
So they have handles, but they're push. It's like one of those, it's like, what side? I don't know. There's handles on both sides. It looks like I'm supposed to pull, but it's actually push. I cannot be blamed for looking stupid. And then
It's a
push
trank door.
Hey, Ambrose, do you want that staff?
I turn away.
I'll put it in the
I guess
bag.
you're starting a collection and all. I figured I'd ask.
It is about as valuable as a broken broomstick at this point because it is snapped. But if you would like it, you are more than welcome to take
I
it.
just-
broken broomstick.
I don't want it.
I like the idea of Ambrose looking like a tarot card by the end of the campaign. Carrying all of it.
Twisted. Just going
9 of
around,
wands.
Or just like a greedy golden retriever at the park with like just a million sticks.
Yeah. Both are accurate.
As
Wow,
you
we didn't think
swing
they
the
got
door
that far.
open and step forward, you can see that the hall splits in two directions. To the west, a cave-in similar to many of those that you had seen before, and to the right, a long hallway that extends eastward.
I've lost all fear. Let's go right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
As you proceed in the right direction, you find yourself at a intersection.
The fuck?
My fear has returned.
Shit, we gotta go! The cops will be here any moment!
It's outside our building.
I feel like I need to play like the Kill Bill siren song with
Yeah.
this, and something really bad needs to happen now.
Are
But no,
you-
you find yourself
are
at
you
an
safe?
intersection, and to your
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me mute.
okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Can you hear okay still, or is it just far too loud to hear?
Okay.
Keep moving, she says.
Okay.
She
two-
says stop.
This is like DM red light, green light. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Is it your car? Well.
It sounded like a fire alarm more so than a car alarm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tune in next time for such exciting
Okay.
spoofs.
Keep
as-
going. We're good.
To the east,
Okay.
the cave where you had battled the two bugbears that had the large ravine in the middle, and to the south, a stairwell that leads downward, and you can see that it extends until it reaches a cave-in, but there is a doorway to either direction.
Let's go.
South?
Yeah, south. Yeah.
Alright.
And.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
With your arrival at this intersection here, you now find yourself looking to the east towards a single door in the wall that looks like many of the others that you have seen, wooden, banded with iron. And to your west, a large cavernous chamber, natural instead of constructed, like many of the other corridors that you've been down. And further in, you can hear sort of gentler sounds of rushing water, different from the booming that you had heard in the other cavern. And just a deep, dark pool lies at the center. The ceiling, all natural stalagmites or stalactites, that range anywhere from 10 to almost 15 feet long, hanging from the ceiling on top of it, and just slowly bloop, 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 dripping into the dark water below.
Oleander, are you working on your miming so that you can, we can like communicate silently during battles and such?
That's not fair.
What? No, I should be fine. I activated push to talk, so I should be able to speak with you. Apologies for the noise.
All right. Well,
I think we should investigate what's at the bottom of this small pool of water if we can.
I agree thoroughly.
Okay.
Let us.
Let you. I shall.
Do you want me to send Kevin out to look?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you would like to.
Okay. All right, Kevin, let's do it.
Okay. As Kevin...
Hey, Kevin, if you think you need any help with something in there, you let me know and I'll give you a boost. Know what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate it. Yeah, your songs always kind of give me that little, song sayings, whatever. Sometimes you do the cool
I was
pitches.
gonna say,
I love
sometimes
it.
it's just kind of like
Sometimes
straight
just
up
the pitch
words
it. Yeah,
that
but
somehow are magical.
I like it. Makes me feel good. Anyways, I'm gonna go take a little cruise around this room.
And I'll use Kevin's eyes to see what he sees.
Okay. As you fall blind and deaf and the world around you goes dark, you then open your eyes as you find yourself hovering over the floor and into a massive chamber ahead where the dark water lays still, and the shore of this pool is on sort of a slope. It looks like the floor here is natural dirt, not any sort of masonry, and this is just sort of a natural settling of water here. And along the shore, you can see thousands and thousands of tiny broken shells of some sort of cave-dwelling mollusks and clams and things like that. And there's a distinct, through Kevin's nostrils, fishy odor hanging in the air.
Well, there's definitely life in this pool.
Fish.
As he glides out over the water, yes?
Yes.
He glides out over the water into the center of the room. Go ahead and make a perception check with Kevin's stats, please, for me.
Some of those newts that don't have eyes.
How much you want to bet, Bree?
Oh no, that's going to be a 4.
Oh, no.
As he glides over the water and almost recoils, squinting his many eyes at the unpleasant odor that hangs in the air. You get sort of the feeling from him that he would much rather be back with you where it smells less bad.
Okay, Kevin, I'm back.
He makes a final circle and returns to the group and lands right next to you and says, I don't know, I didn't see anything, but it stinks in there. I mean, you know what I saw, but they probably don't.
Oleander, what did your imp eye see?
Well, from what I saw, I don't know if this pool holds any treasure unless one of you is secretly a sea lion. Or an otter, I guess.
I like the fishy smell. I'm gonna walk it.
Oh, true, yeah, you're a cat, so you'd be into it.
Okay. You make your way into the chamber and find what I had previously described, just sort of a natural pool there with sort of natural shoreline broken up by a bunch of white shells.
Hey, Bree, come see if there's any newts in here.
All right, I'm gonna start sifting through any tide pools and like the shore, see if I can catch any little eyeless newts.
And I am assuming, Bree, that you have relit your torch. Is that correct?
Sure. Yes.
We're gonna stay here away from the smell. Thank you.
As you
One
make
for
your
me.
way up to the shore and There's no tide pools or anything like that. The water here is almost completely placid. The only ripples on the surface sort of emanate outward from where those stalactites are dripping into the water. Aside from that, it is almost utterly glassy, and based on the light that you had been carrying, you now get the idea that maybe Kevin's difficulty with seeing anything below the water surface had to do with just how still and reflective the surface is.
Can I summon my mage hand to just start kind of like searching around in the water there?
Sure. As you summon that and send it into the water, it causes very gentle ripples as it dives under the surface and begins to feel around. Go ahead and make, since you're feeling, an investigation check.
No, it's not. Oh, 7.
7. As your hand trails through the water, you find stones, bits of floor. That's about it.
Just a heads up, they turned off the alarm in our building.
Hey, all right.
Hey, great. Honestly,
sorry about that, y'all.
Really funny to have every time you talk just sounded like you were at like a club.
That was an intense.
Oh yeah, we're out here at
5 a.m.
EDM Night in the
everybody.
Absinthe Lounge, just getting cranked.
Yeah.
It's
Crank.
2012. Moomaton's back in style. Let's go.
Hell yeah!
All right. So, as you crouch here on the shore of this small chamber, you do see that there is a outlet to this room to the south, and in addition to that, to the north, the water seems like it's very, very slowly flowing northward into a stream that, based on its direction, you kind of get the idea that this is probably the stream that formed that waterfall that cascaded down that chasm and then out towards the north.
Mm. Did you want to look south?
Winchester definitely just like horsing around in the water and splashing each other and rolling around in the dirt.
Find any loot, Bree?
What?
As Winchester is splashing around, you see his eyes just sort of like jump for a second, and he backs out of the water. And he just sort of like turns back to you for a moment, and then like looks over in that direction of the water.
Timmy fall down the well? Do I can kind of see what direction he's looking at?
Yeah, I'd say he's probably about like here, and he's sort of pointing just directly out into the center. And he's just sort of taking one pawn into the surface of the water.
I will go for another swim.
Are you wearing the ring at the moment?
I am, but I think I'll just slip it off and put it in my pocket.
Okay. Slip it off and wade into the water. The shells crunch underneath your feet, and you make your way into very, very cold cavern water. As you
deep is it?
do, where you stand now, for you, probably up to your mid-thigh, and you get the idea that the further out you go, if it's at this rate, it would probably be about 15, 20 feet deep in the middle.
I might just hand the torch to Glass and then go for a little dive on there.
As you dive into the cold water, finding your way towards the center, make a perception check with disadvantage for me, please.
13.
13, not bad. Looking through the water, you can see that sort of at the bottom of the pool there is what looks like a series of rocks with these sort of angular, pointy sticks coming out of them. That is sort of right in front of where Winchester would have bumped into them. You get the idea that he probably maybe poked himself on one of these sort of sticks that's popping out of this collection of stones.
And I try and grab one and pull.
Okay. You wrap your hand around one, you feel that it's smooth, and pulling, before it even comes free, you realize this is an arrow. and looking down and sort of squinting, you see that this pile of rocks is a body.
Gotcha. Any identifying uniform or any? I don't know how old it is, but any identifying marks on it?
Really hard to tell, just with the darkness of the water and your lack of dark vision. Looks to be about human size and just riddled with arrows. If you want to try to drag it up or make a sort of feeling investigation check around it to see if you can find anything, you're welcome to do that. Either.
I will. I'm gonna, I think, surface, and then I'll call Winchester over to come help me drag the body out.
Okay, easy enough. You surface and take a deep breath of the stale, fishy air and call Winchester over to you, who very promptly just sort of dog paddles over to your location and seems ready to help.
All right. Come on, boy.
He dives in. Go ahead and you know what? I don't think there's a check necessary for this. It's just old bones. As you both dive in and grab hold together and slide it up to the surface, dragging it into the shallows across all of the broken shells. Eventually, you find the surface, and there, sort of in the shadows at your feet, Glass, are Bree, Winchester, and an entire desiccated human body,
Gross.
Look what I found.
riddled with arrows.
Sick.
I wonder how he died. A riddle.
Yeah, that's right.
With arrows.
We'll never know.
It's like an episode of Monk. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's right. Now in the direct torchlight, can I kind of see if there's any clothing remaining or anything that would identify the body?
Can I push him over too? No.
Yeah. So as you're both sort of looking over this, peering over everything, it looks like there are tattered remains of black robes, similar to those that you found on some of the bodies in that main sort of dining hall where you had dealt with the undead. In addition to that, now that it is out of the water, you can see that in one of the hands it clutches a sort of a short black length of either wood or some sort of resin-like material crafted into a wand shape. And on one finger of that hand and one finger of the other hand are two very, very shiny-looking silverish rings.
Heyo.
Ooh.
I think I found some more stuff for the identify pile.
Identify.
The identify pile, if you will.
Put it in the bag.
All right. You get the idea just from being accustomed to sort of sensing magic at this point, especially given your previous ordeal no more than a few hours earlier, that the rings themselves are not magical, but they do look like they are made out of platinum and should be worth a good deal. And
Wow.
The wand itself is definitely emanating a strong magical aura.
Cool. All right.
Somebody better buy me dinner later.
Thank you, identify man.
I'm gonna catch your dinner in this tepid water.
I want to know what cave meat tastes like.
That's fine too. I'll accept that.
I hope you're all up on your shots. All right. So, are you leaving this chamber then? The same way you came, heading to the south, heading to the north. The sort of stream that goes to the north, you have a good idea of where it goes, but it does look like it's traversable. The hallway leads a good ways to the south, and then your other option, other than just returning the way that you came, is the doorway that you see there next to the party at the east.
Oh.
Right.
Did you want me to clear this doorway across the hallway here just before we head out?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we take a
come
little
with you.
peek?
Take a look.
Okay. Make your way up to the doorway here, and are you just opening it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be at the ready to grab her if it seems like she's gonna get
But I'm looking
ghouly.
at the right
Yeah.
thing here.
I'm sure I'll be fine. It's just a door.
What if there's a pit behind it?
Why would you
Oh,
say
I think you're really psyching up fate here.
that?
Make sure to check for traps.
Yeah, the a single monkey's paws curling somewhere every time you say it.
As you swing the door open to this chamber, there is, in the center of it, a iron brazier that gives off the very, very dull glow of coals that had been lit at some point, not terribly recently, but are beginning to die down. Aside from that, what you can barely make out in that low light, although you, Oleander, have very significant dark vision here and can see a little bit better, is that all the walls are lined with old stone bunks, and the wall on the far side also has a door in it that has been barricaded by various piles of wooden furniture.
That's weird.
Barricaded, and there was a staff through the door handles in the other room. So it seems like this is kind of where the last stand happened. Maybe?
Just seems like this place is fully battle ridden.
Yeah.
As you glance around, especially seeing that the coals are relatively fresh, you also see other signs of recent activity here, including opened packaging from various rations, empty packs that line the ground, and bedrolls and stuff that have not rotten or seen the test of time that much of the other things here have been.
I have to assume that this is probably where the Black Spider bivouacked while she was making her way through this cave.
But the body we found in the lake over there, that seems like it was much older.
Yeah,
It did.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing probably
What
that
about-
this was a bunk room for people who worked in the mines. And then, much later on, the Black Spider found this place and figured it was as good of a place as any to make camp.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could I check the beds to see if they've been recently used?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check if you would.
So, uh, 13.
13. The only things in this room that have not completely rotted away or been destroyed by time are the bedrolls, the packs on the floor, the empty rationing packages. With this, you would find it reasonable to believe that Oleander's conclusion was correct. This was probably the camp for the Black Spider's forces.
Can we just quickly pilfer the packs? Anything in there?
Yeah, there's 3 remaining bits of rations there, and in one of the packs there is a small vial that does look like some sort of potion.
Put it in the bag.
Then among the packs altogether, you are able to scrape together 15 copper pieces and 13 foreign coins, electrum pieces.
Electrum?
Mhm.
How many?
How many? electrum?
13, sorry.
Okay.
Gang, I feel like we've got most of this figured out at this point, but I don't know if I told all of you about the voice I heard in my head.
You sure didn't.
Yeah, that's news to us.
Glass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe it was like a me thing.
I kind of think it is a you thing.
Well, okay.
We live in a
You're
very
right.
magical world. It could be any number of things. What did the voice tell you?
He seemed like he was searching for something.
Seems like he wanted us to get out for sure.
Yeah. When I tried to I heard him when I was taking my watch the other night, kind of mumbling to himself in my head. No judgment zone.
I won't laugh.
I tried. Then he said something about his. I don't know. I was trying to say something funny, but then I didn't want to get banned from Twitch. his weenus, you know,
Thank you.
his weenus, which is not this part.
Oh,
His little weenus. And no, I tried to reach out to him with my circlet. Why does everyone laugh when I try to tell a story? And I gotta say, he didn't seem to like it. He didn't seem to like hearing from me. But I heard him again when we got close to the forge. I thought maybe it was the forge master, but I mean, we heard the forge master's voice, and it wasn't him. I wonder if it might be that dwarf.
Huh.
The one-eyed dwarf that we
Yeah,
found.
redheads.
Right.
Nundra?
No, not Nundra. I don't think it was Nundra. That'd be crazy. But I think it might be a trapped spirit from the earlier battle.
Hmm.
I don't know if we want to do anything with that. I could try and find him again.
I'd say it might be worth it to try and figure it out, but if we leave this cave without ever knowing what kind of horrible ghost lives in here alongside that skull, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's probably okay.
Let's take if on our way out, maybe we'll stop by the forge again, because I think that's
Yeah.
where we might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to
And
do
let's let
that?
Nundra out.
Yeah, and let's get
That's what I was going to ask. Is would you like to do that before or after you fetch Nundra?
I think we should get him. Maybe he'll know.
Yeah,
Something
you
like
might.
that.
Yeah.
You rally back together, a few coins richer and curiosity slaked. You make your way back up into the large temple, where the massive statue still stares at you silently.
Statue has two eyes, right?
It does have two eyes that look like they're sort of like emeralds or some sort of a green gemstone. And then you make your way over to the vault where you had spent your rest with the doors shut. And I believe that one of you still does have the appropriate key.
Have it?
You open the front door and make your way in.
Who's hungry?
Scared the shit out of me. I'm glad you're back.
Ew.
Sorry, buddy.
You safe?
Yeah,
Indeed.
I think this place is a lot safer than it was before.
Yep.
It's good to
We have
hear.
neutralized many of the threats.
Impressive. Alright, so is it time to get out of here?
Let's get you back to your brother, yeah.
We're heading that way. Nundro. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wipes some sleep from his eyes and just stretches. He looks like he's been sort of resting on that cot in the corner and stands
I'll
up to
talk.
his full height. Alright, what were you saying? Sorry.
I'll toss him one of the rations we just found. Just in case he's looking
Yeah,
hungry.
Greedily digs into it.
Cool. Let's walk and talk and eat. Nundro, can you handle that?
I can handle that. Yeah, I can handle that. No problem.
Good answer.
Good.
So maybe as we're heading back towards the forge, I'll ask him.
So as you begin to make your way, which direction do you want to take? Just sort of crossing this area again here?
Yeah.
At this point, you've
Okay.
made this traverse enough times that it's not a terrible
Now we know
challenge.
Bree can jump over 9 million feet high,
Yeah.
so
To drop ropes for you and make the descent easier, and you make your way past the crashing waves here and the hallway with that eerie, familiar green glow back into the starry, high-ceilinged chamber with all of the various crystals in the ceiling that glitter at your torchlight. And coming through this time, you do not feel that intense magical pull that you felt before. And an idea that maybe it was the way that creature was consuming and condensing that energy that was giving off whatever sort of signature that would have been. But now the forge lies not sundered, but weakened. You step forward a little bit closer. What would you like to do?
Nundro, you know anything about a one-eyed dwarf who led expeditions here?
I mean, nothing comes to mind, but I'll be honest, I'm a minor. I'm not a history buff.
Young people are smart too. But,
No, I meant... never mind.
Wow.
right. Well, gang, should I put some feelers out?
I mean, if you want
Yeah.
to like open your mind to the maelstrom of weirdness ambient in the area, feel free. As long as it doesn't take too long.
Is there any way I can assist?
Just out of curiosity, does anybody have like a way that you can see invisible things?
I have dark vision, but I don't think that's quite what you're looking for.
I could always cast Ice Knife until it hits something.
I don't know about that.
I can cast that at a 3rd level now. We can really mess somebody up.
Really
Oh,
makes
you can really mess us up if you do that.
Great ideas, everyone. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
So you cast Detect Thoughts and focus the circlet on your brow. You open your mind and your consciousness to the living forms around you and any consciousness and thoughts that may be persevering. And as you identify and slowly shut out those familiar to you, the loud thoughts of your companions, the louder thoughts of Nundro, it's quiet for a moment. And then it remains quiet. And then you just hear, very quietly, "You're back. Come. We have much to discuss. Old friend." No?
Well,
Perhaps not. Another creature. Come nonetheless.
tell me where to go.
And you don't hear language anymore, but you see a mental flash of several images, the first of which being the large cavern that you were in, and then almost an expedited gliding view leading you from where you now stand down the stairs to your south and into the small building that sits at the far southeastern portion of this long chamber.
Assuming this all just happened in my head,
It did.
I'm just gonna turn back to the party. Follow me. I will go that way.
As you
We
proceed
follow.
to the south, the cave height seems to increase here in the center, as the floor that you walk on is broken by a natural escarpment that have had these stairs carved into it by skilled hands. You watch as you descend them, Nundro sort of silently remarks under his breath about the craftsmanship here. And you approach further to the south until you reach another of these low stone buildings that is set into the side wall of the cavern. Double doors stand before you, very similar to those at the Forge of Spells, but less ornate.
I'm going to telepathically conjure the sentence. We mean you no harm. We hope you mean the same.
There's no response.
Be ready for anything. And I'm going to open the door.
Okay. Make your way up to the door and open it.
Huh.
You are greeted what at first looks like darkness, but then you realize that your torchlight, held by Bree, is entering the room, but the walls here have been blackened by fire and ash.
Mm.
Heaps of debris beneath a sort of sagging ceiling in the middle show that parts of this room were damaged by some sort of destructive blast. Furnishings, tables, chairs, in addition to the 2 bunks that stand across the room from you, are intact but splintered, old, and singed. A scorched iron chest sits at the foot of the southernmost bed. And in the corner, on the far southern side of the room, on the southeastern corner, you can see there is the skeleton of a dwarf that is slumped over, seemingly barely held together with age. And underneath the sort of ragged and now rotten bed sheets of the southern cot, the shape of a body. The only portion of it visible is from the eyes up, or what would be eyes, as it is just a white skull with empty eye sockets, barely covered from here down by that sort of what was once a blanket but has now become a death shroud.
Can I make an
And-
Arcana check?
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
And then on its forehead, a silver circlet, broken in the center.
Huh.
18.
18. As you enter this room, or as you approach the door to this room, rather, you feel almost a chill run up your arms, and your hair stands on end, and you sense something strongly magic here. You stepping into the room or remaining outside?
I'll step in.
Yeah. I'll step in too.
Go ahead.
Looks like they died trapped in a fire.
Hmm.
An
Why
awful way to go.
is this one body in bed? If I was in a burning room, I would be trying to get out at least.
Maybe this one was dead before the fire started.
Am I feeling any sort of emotional or, any kind of response to their words?
You send your mind out again to sort of probe the space around you. And as you do, the blackness that covers the walls begins to well at the center of the room. The shadows that hang in the corners seem to run towards it. And it all begins to slowly rotate, almost like water going down a drain. As the blackness coalesces, yes.
Oh, that would be Glass holding his hand up as if to say, "Don't attack."
As the blackness coalesces, it forms a pool, and reaching out from it, a single white skeletal hand. It clutches the ground, and then another. And then, as if climbing out of a well, a ghastly skeletal head then appears. Ethereal, however, and semi-translucent, and wreathed in just darkness. The head wears a simple silver wire circlet, and is followed by the body as this entity climbs out clad in black robes that seem to be constructed entirely from the absence of light. It stirs to its full height, well above your eye shot, taller even than you, Oleander, and looms wraith-like, gaunt, and unmistakably elven before you.
So first off, love the look. Really pulling it off.
This time, all of you hear, echoing in the chamber around you, the voice that you have been hearing in your head on many occasions, Glass. I recognize this one. And I sense a change. A great change has occurred. Please forgive my defensive posture, as you probed earlier. It requires further explanation, but it seems that you have assisted me greatly. I am in your debt.
We killed the Guardian of the Forge.
And the Black Spider.
A grave statement. I warned you to stay away, fearing your inevitable defeat by the aberration that haunts the Forge of Spells, but now I sense that something in the air has shifted. And if you still live, tell me, travelers, cave delvers, do the tethers that bind me here finally unwind? Does that accursed being of madness and hunger lie dead?
He's no more.
Yep. Really, emphatically no more.
He exploded.
He doesn't get any deader than that.
Yeah. It's gross.
Then it is done. Yes.
May I ask you your name?
I am Mormensk.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mormansk.
And you as well, Oleander.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even tell you my name. So cool. Oh,
What's my
give you a
favorite
business.
color? No.
I give you a business card, but it's probably just a formality at this point.
Forgive me. My time here alone has dissuaded me of formality.
Oh no, you're fine, honey. Don't worry about it.
Imagine calling a centuries-old ghost honey.
She just did it.
I mean, I am charmed by this this spectral entity's panache.
Were you one of the enchanters that worked at the forge?
No, I was... Before I explain, there are other explanations that must take place first, but I assure you that question will be answered. I have to tell you a few things quickly before my time here expires. To ensure that you remain and that you find me amicable, I would like to first offer that I tire of my belongings, the wicked company they keep. I once reveled in discovery and novelty, the collection of keeping things arcane, and I possessed a motherly fondness for my hoard. But I am no longer captivated by devilsome nostalgia for those items I long to depart this plane. So, as I feel my essence being drawn into the border ethereal to rest finally, I must clear my conscience I must confess my mortal sins before I depart, if you will listen, and in exchange I offer these baubles, a parting gift.
Of course. Absolutely. Fire
We would
away.
be grateful.
Mind my words as a tale of caution. The guardian within the forge did not belong here. It was bound to the forge in servitude, by magic chained to this plane until banished or destroyed. I sense that you lack the arcane discipline required for the former, therefore I arrive at the conclusion, improbable as it may be, that you have truly destroyed it, as you mentioned. He pauses for a moment and then floats down over towards the bed where the skeleton lies and rests on its edge in a seated posture. I've been here for ages, and gestures at the sheets. Perished of starvation as I hid from battle. Besieged in this room, just me and a meddlesome dwarf, bent on convincing me that my cowardice could be overcome. Back in the days of this place's operation, before the battle that sundered these halls and reduced them to these forgotten crypts, it was my duty, along with my elven compatriots, to draw forth from beyond the veil a creature capable of defending the forge. A final line of defense, if our defenses were to fall, as mortals often do. We needed a protector, a guardian. Through conjuration, it was to be drawn here from the celestial plane, a creature of law and goodness bound to the precious forge. And so we spent 10 day after 10 day carefully scribing and rigorously checking our circle on the floor for flaws. The slightest error spelling catastrophe for all of us. And after nearly 30 days of work, resting only to meditate briefly, as elves do, the circle was complete. I don't recall why, but shortly after the orc invasion, I was persuaded by some force unknown to alter the circle. A single errant line, simple mistake, invisible among the runes, was all that I needed. I barely remember reaching out with chalk in hand to dash an angled line through the rune on the floor, the mark that determined the plane from which the guardian was summoned. The center of the circle. Rather than calling upon the celestial plane, as intended, the circle would now call upon the far realm, the realm of madness, plane of endless insatiable hunger for chaos, disorder, destruction of law, the unrighting of reason. I'm unsure why I did it. The question haunts me in every waking moment I spend here in my shame, gathered with my precious baubles. I gathered them and attempted to lock myself in this chamber, hoping to hide from the coming battle as they approached our gates. But then there was the dwarf, and it gestures and looks over towards the corpse in the corner. It jammed the door with the blade of its hand axe and weaseled his way in. I managed to close the door behind us both and seal us here with an arcane lock. He was furious and struck me once, destroying my circlet. But that was the last successful blow he landed. His mortal weapons were no match for my magic, and like the door, I locked his body in place for a short time and released him once I was sure of surrender. Clever. He knew he was beaten, but he didn't stop fighting. He altered his assault, foregoing attacks with blades and violence to targeting my conscience. Guilting and needling and complimenting my prowess with the arcane, heralding my skill as a surefire means of victory if only I would unlock the door and free us both. But I refused. And the cave outside fell to the orcs and their mercenary wizards, and we remained here in a shroud of arcane silence. And I can still see his great bearded face, red with frustration, screaming at me as the room shook around us. In perfect quiet. Some time passed, malnourishment and hunger claimed him long before my elven body succumbed. And in those weeks of hunger preceding my death, the guilt that he had sowed the seeds of consumed me. Cowardice became my only ally, and hearing the orcs' incessant patrols outside discussing the predicament of their own entombment within these walls, woe consumed me as I realized that the assailants outside my chamber were just as trapped as I was. I ceased to dream of escape and eventually ceased to live. My only companions for these eons have been these walls, his body, my precious items, and my own empty eye sockets here staring back at me from underneath that rotting death shroud. And at this point, you watch as the creature reaches over towards the bed and tries to pull the sheet over, but the fingers just pass through the sheet. The motion done with a repetition that seems practiced and done millions and millions of times before.
Can I pull the sheet back for him?
So you reach over and do that and sort of sighs. Thank you. They've stared at me for long enough. My story shared, my guilt given words, and now shared as memories among all of you. And greatest of all, the fruits of my betrayal. The summoned horror in the forge is vanquished, and now I am free to depart. For somewhere in the nine hells, no doubt. My treasures are yours. And the ghostly apparition begins to slowly fade. If there's anything else that you wish to ask, do it quickly.
Should we ask about the skull?
I was going to say we should ask about the skull. Maybe.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on the skull, quick.
So that's a really wow. That's a lot. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Forgive my verbosity, I've rehearsed that speech in my head many, many times.
Well, it
Nailed
sounded
it.
great. You knocked it out of the park.
Good job.
I'm never gonna forget that.
We were with you the whole time.
Yeah, I was
Did you know? Did you happen to know maybe like another mage of some sort who hung out in the kind of in the water wheel room to the south of here? I don't know what he looked like in life. He looks like kind of a glowing green skull right now. Does that ring any bells at all?
It seems I'm not
It's
the
okay
only
if-
wizard who found a fate in undeath.
Yeah.
I am unsure which of my companions that could have been, but there's many I suspect.
Well, don't worry about it. Thanks, anyways. Enjoy
Wanted bodies.
enjoy the hereafter. I hope you go somewhere that grants you peace.
I sense my fate is one of anguish for eternity, but I thank you for your optimism.
We'll,
I don't know.
we'll make sure to say hi if we're ever there.
May you be judged.
Because I probably will.
I look forward to it. And as the
Right.
ghostly apparition begins to fade and disperses into the air, like wisps of smoke over a snuffed-out candle, you find yourselves now alone with the contents of this room, an ancient elf's body, and the skeleton of a very persistent dwarf.
Well, that was a downer.
I hope I don't become like
I
that
think we
guy.
did good.
I probably will. Things
Yeah.
don't usually end well for warlocks, but we got a friend down below now. That's pretty cool.
Glass. As the room lies still, you hear one final message in your head. And all it says is, "Find the stone you seek in Denivar's house, Bard. Waste not your life on cowardice as I did. Seek your happy memories. Stone waits for you, but knows it not."
I'm going to. I need some air, and I'm just going to walk out of the room.
Cool.
Okay.
Uh,
Do we want
I'll
to-
join you in a minute.
It is.
Do the rest of us want to check around for that horde of baubles? Because I
Oh, yeah.
am definitely still interested in arcane baubles myself.
You want to take a look?
Test.
Along the northern wall is a single bookshelf. Most of the books have rotted away. It does look like a few of them have persisted, probably being magically preserved in some way or another. In addition to that, there is the chest at the foot of one of the beds. And the dwarf looks like it clutches a small leather tube capped at the ends by cork stoppers. A familiar sight.
Could I, Ambrose, take a look at the books first?
Sure. Make your way over to the bookshelf, and lots of them are just sort of blackened by ash, although looking around the room now, the ash on the wall seems to have faded, almost gone with the apparition. But the books have deteriorated greatly over time, except for a few. One of which being a what looks like a manual on mining techniques in Dwarvish, with a small sort of subtitle in common underneath the main title in Dwarvish runes. And then in addition to that, there is a single black bound book that, as you approach it with your hand, as you sort of run your hand across the shelf, emanates a very strong magical aura.
Ooh. I'm gonna pick that up.
Pick it up, and as you look at the cover on the front of it, you see nothing. It is just smooth black leather, and just holding it in your hands without even opening the pages, you know this to be another wizard spellbook. Very likely that of Morminsk.
Okay. Can I smell it?
It smells
moldy?
like the room around you,
Okay.
and like it has sort of picked up smells from around it, but the book itself appears to be magically preserved.
Okay.
You gonna eat it?
No, it's moldy books are really disgusting.
I'll only give you fresh books to eat from now on, then.
Thank you, I appreciate that so much. You're a real friend.
I try.
And then I'll hold on to this one.
Okay. And then within, there's also the tube and then the chest to check.
Go through the chest.
Okay. Inside the chest, you find a bevy of coinage, 3 diamonds, and what looks more like a keepsake than an actual implement, a smoking pipe adorned with platinum filigree. The money comes out to 1,100 copper pieces, 160 silver pieces, and 50 electrum pieces. And then the 3 diamonds are each worth 100 gold.
Wow.
Holy smokes!
How much silver and electrum was that again?
160 silver
silver.
pieces
Oh,
and
sorry.
50 electrum pieces.
50.
I want to just one of the Electrum coins and ask everybody, has anybody seen these before? Do you know where these coins are from?
I'm not in there.
Would I know?
Yeah, make a history check.
Yeah.
Let me do that too, because I'm from a city and I might actually know something about that.
Hey.
Just
Ooh, yeah.
What's up?
as soon as I went out of the room, I didn't want to interrupt the looting, but I would just have sent a message to Bree and just said, I'm going on a walk. And then I'm gonna, while everyone is doing that, I'm just gonna expedite role playing. But I'm just gonna walk around the cave and take pictures and print them.
Okay,
Paper.
cool. And I'll let you describe those pictures at your will at a later time if you want to. But
Yeah.
as you make your way out and just go clear your head for a minute and enjoy doing what you do, documenting your surroundings. Was there anything else that you wanted to do in this chamber before you left? For the rest of you.
We were talking about that history check,
Oh, that's right.
I got a 22.
and I got a 15. So
There's just different areas in the realms that use different coinage,
Okay.
just like pretty much anywhere. The most common, especially among Lord's Alliance, is the gold dragon, silver pieces, copper pieces. Some other places use electrum instead of gold, from it being a different geographical region where different metals are more precious than others.
Sick.
Lenny's.
So grab the tube that the dwarf has in his.
Yes.
I'm assuming this is a scroll.
It does look identical to the other sort of journal scrolls that you had found before, yeah.
All right. I don't suppose the dwarf is wearing an eye patch.
As you make a medicine check, actually. It is just a skeleton at this point. Most of the clothes have long since rotted away.
Oh, 22.
22.
Nat 20.
You take a very hard look inside the eye sockets, and you can see at the back of one of them, there are areas where the bones have been broken. That looks like it could have been caused by an injury that, if that injury happened, it definitely would have cost the eye.
Right. I think we've got a one-eyed dwarf here.
Mm.
Dang. All right. Do we want to read this now, or should we
Why
get
don't
above?
we save it before leaving the cave? Like, we could save it for when we get back to the tavern or something.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm a little tired of breathing cave air.
Yeah. Can we check that room, that door to the south?
Oh, wait, one sec, actually. Before we leave, can I also grab that dwarven mining book?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Might be something to give to Gundren and Nundro.
Yeah, I'll take a look later.
But yeah, there's a door in the south wall of the chamber. That might be something to check out.
Yeah.
Okay. I dropped in our group chat the journal entry for whoever would like to read that out loud or on their own at another point, but that's there.
Okay.
And then where did you... the only other thing of value in this room is the now sort of sundered and broken silver circlet that is on the elven skeleton that is currently under the sheets now.
I know that I would maybe by this time come back from my walk. And I want to take a portrait of the elven skeleton as he lay in the bed. And just after that, I will take the circlet.
And as you pull it off, it sort of hangs at an odd angle, as the metal it's crafted from is thin and it is sort of broken in the center. It looks like it could probably be mended, but as with most magical items, simply mending the physicality of it does not restore its magical properties, but it does look valuable.
I will wrap it in cloth to try and keep it, as secure as possible.
Okay.
And put it away.
All right.
Well,
At this point, you all sort of glance over and can just see that Nundro's just been sort of leaning back on the wall with his eyes wide the whole time. It's like, is this what you'll do all the time?
More or
Not-
less, yeah.
Not every day.
part of my life, yes.
I'm
So
not
we
sure
specialize.
I'm not sure if I passed out or what there for a second, but I kind of, just. I think I could use some fresh air as well.
Let's
Just in
Yeah,
case
let's
you were
go.
wondering, we all also saw the ghost. So it's was not just Theo.
Well, I hope so. I heard you talking to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that really happened. Big skeleton,
He was
nice
nice.
and cool clothes.
Ghost skeleton.
Seemed nice.
As goes go, not a bad first interaction on my end, but I would like to keep it as the last as well.
That seems like a reasonable request.
That's
you know?
that's understandable. Don't be like us.
Yeah, don't do what we do for a living.
Noted and agreed.
All right, cool. Were we not checking out the southern chamber, or
We can go take a look and
Yeah.
that
just
might lead us
stick our
back.
head in? It's probably nothing. It's probably just a bathroom or something.
We can take a
Oh,
peek.
this the sort of little
no,
southern
no,
door
that
in
in
here.
that room.
Yeah.
there, yeah.
It does just look like a small store closet. Although the interior here is much more well preserved. You get the idea that this poor creature did. If they couldn't move the sheets, they probably couldn't move the door either.
Oh, well, okay. Just wondering if it led anywhere else. If it's just a closet, then
Yeah,
works.
just looks like a small little storeroom there.
Okay.
Alright. So as you exit the chamber, where would you like to go?
I'd like to go have an ale.
Yeah, an ale sounds pretty nice right about now.
I could whale into an ale.
That's right.
As you make your way, following the safe paths that you know, back through the cave, and towards whatever safe exit you may find, you eventually find yourself at the intersection there where the ladder leads up onto the platform where you had last left Gundren
Gundren.
and his ill-fated brother.
Oh.
As you each climb one by one up the ladder there and find yourselves on the surface of that area. I'm out here really fast and drop you over there.
Big cave.
Big cave. He is no longer there. You do
Oh,
not see
what?
Gundren or the body of Tharden anywhere.
Where did it go?
Can we pull out that stone of far speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you are pulling that out, you do see, sort of over in the area of the camp, there are some words that have been inscribed on the floor, but they appear to be in Dwarvish.
A riddle.
Nundro.
Sorry. It just says 2 words. Burial, Vandalin.
Yeah.
Well, looks like we got a wake to get to.
And, yeah, that's Gundren's handiwork, I know it. That's how we leave each other messages. Let's get out of here. As you make your way through the narrow, natural cavern passage that leads you back out into the clean night air at the base of the cliff as you climb up through the tree that leads its way back onto the actual ground level above you. It's dark. You can hear night creatures buzzing around, moving in the trees above you peacefully. The calls of crickets surround you, and that persistent booming, now absent, leaves a strange sort of ringing in your ears.
Yeah, I've been listening to it so long, I guess I got used to it.
When you've been on a boat for a while, then you get back on land and you still feel like you're on a boat.
Yeah.
I've been on a boat.
It feels like I can hear the absence of waves crashing. It's very strange.
I trip on a piece of grass and fall over.
Whoa, yo, you okay?
Piece of crap.
Cure wounds, 3rd level.
Oh,
Oh, thank God, I was bleeding out.
I've got you, babe.
We'll have to bury him.
This is it for me.
And so as you find
Nice. soon as I say my joke, I wish I had said it, and I look over at Nutro and keep walking.
Don't make eye contact.
Ooh.
Did you pick up Modify Memory?
As you explore around, you do notice that Jesse and Big Rig and the cart have been taken, most likely by Gundren, to escort Darden back to Phandalin. But it's a relatively short walk. You'll probably still make it under the cover of nightfall, well before morning.
Oh, good.
Can I take a look around to make sure there aren't any like signs of a struggle or anything?
Sure, make an investigation check.
I care about our horses.
Now that we know what they look like and we give them names, we care about them.
It's a 17.
17. Looking around, there's a set of boot prints that look dwarf-sized, and then in addition to that, some drag marks. And then from where those drag marks lead up to, eventually they disappear just before you see the two ruts where you had parked the cart.
Okay.
Checks out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to Phandalin.
Let's.
As you begin your march, your travels unimpeded for the duration of this. If there's anything you would like to do on the, I think it's probably about a 3-hour walk or so back down the hill and towards Phandalin, let me know. Otherwise, you may just make your way back to the edge of town.
I think I will kind of privately, if possible, just ask, talk to Glass and say, "Hey, you doing okay? You got a little weird in there for a minute."
Please permit me my eccentricities.
I mean, of course, but you know, that's not what I meant. Are you okay?
Thank you. I'm okay. I am going to continue practicing using my mage hand to try and pick fruit and flowers from trees as we're walking and collect them.
Oleander?
Can I turn Kevin back into the shape of a ferret so he does not terrify people?
Sure, no problem. Yeah, no problem. I kind of like that anyways. Just takes the form of the weasel-like creature and scurries up onto your shoulder and makes himself comfortable. And it's not too many paces before you just hear him sort of gently snoring.
Oh, yeah. This is the good stuff.
Comfortable farm to be in. All right, asleep.
And as you continue your march, eventually the small lights of Phandalin emerge from the trees after not too long of a trek, and you find yourself on the edge of town. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break for the evening.
Yay!
Hooray!
We did it!
Wow, we survived.
We got a ton of shit.
We got a ton of
We got a ton of stuff. We got a
Good
little
job,
character development. We got to hear a cool story. Cool run.
Cool.
Woo!
Good job, y'all. All right, everybody. It is 8:33. We'll be back at 8:45. We're going to try to do it right on the dot there, so about 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We will see you as soon as we get back. If you have time or any spare, couch change laying around, throw it in the direction of Translaw Center. We'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to leave us a fun little memo somewhere in the description there, and we'll read that after the stream for you. So thank you all for watching.
Totally.
We'll
Go
catch
do
you
it.
back in just a bit.
Mhm.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 28 of the Help Action. We are back from our little break and excited to jump back in. During the break, we chilled out a little bit and got ourselves some drinks. I hope you did the same. We are now at this point, having just left Wave Echo Cave and exploring a little bit. The party concluded the last of their sort of searches for various treasures that were dotted around the area, recovered the last of the Rockseeker brothers from the vault, and then proceeded on to meet a wizard that was entombed there within the walls of one of the caves that Glass had been hearing through some sort of telepathic communication in some strange way connected to the circlet that he wears. After a bit of exposition and learning some of the history of the cave and how that creature's fate was served to it rather unkindly, but brought upon itself in a way, you were gifted with several more magical items and then made your way up and out into the night air, finally breathing fresh air for the first time in a very long time, and began your slow trek in mostly quiet back towards Phandalin. And as you slowly approach, the city lights ahead of you, and you can see the very small little hamlet just sort of glimmering through the trees up ahead of you, and you break from the forest into the chamber. I'm so in dungeon mode now. We're in the world, great. And you sort of break into the clearing here and can see all the various low buildings, all of them on their flagstone bases that form the small town here of Phandalin. It's about an hour or two, you guess, before daylight. You can barely see that sort of twilight on the horizon off to the east. What would you all like to do?
I guess we'll head back to the tavern. The problem is now that because of that forge long rest, we're all jet lagged as hell. Or I guess forge lagged.
I don't know what's up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's a jet?
I'm like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah, what time is it?
A couple hours before daylight, so I'd say, yeah, like 4 or 5 a.m., something like that.
Yeah.
Very early in the morning.
Neat.
Well,
Did we want to, like, head back to the tavern and, I guess, chill for a couple hours before breakfast or something?
I mean, I'm all like hyped up. I could always sit and identify all that stuff.
Yeah, we could do an identify party.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay.
I bet that there's ale to be had and a sunrise to be seen.
Yes.
If anyone wants to have an identify party with a sunrise.
Hell yeah.
Great.
Oh,
I'm
man.
afraid that if I go to sleep, I'm just gonna dream about starving to death trapped in a room. So
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Sounds like an excuse for fantasy mimosas.
So, as you gather yourselves and make your way through town over to the very, very familiar Stonehill Inn, where you have made your temporary home here for the last couple weeks, you approach the front swinging saloon doors, and the warm sort of glow of the interior is there. As you approach, you realize it was either a busy night the night previous, or it's earlier in the day or later in the night, whichever way you want to think of it, as than you had expected. As inside, you can see, just upon entering at the bar, a very, very intoxicated Gungeon Rockseeker leaning over the bar with an ale in hand, and Sildar there just sort of patting his back.
Oh, oh dear.
And elsewhere, Glass, over in the corner, you do spy Elman Jasper at the other end of the bar, enjoying what looks like a late dinner, probably after an evening of playing for various patrons. And Toblin behind the bar, cleaning up and making the last preparations before shutting the bar down for the evening. And despite all parental guidelines and bedtimes that should be enforced, over in front of the large stone fireplace, You can see Toblin's son, Pip,
Oh,
seated on the ground across from Droop, where the two of them are playing cards.
God,
Yeah!
this wholesome scene you've painted.
And as you see Pip
Wholesome, but
just, yeah!
like a
Throw his
David
arms
Lynch
up in
film.
victory, you watch as Droop, and then faints immediately onto the ground. And you watch the young Pip just slowly take off his sweater and ball it up into a ball and tuck it underneath Droop's head and just sort of pat his droopy ear on one side, and then turning, looks at you and rushes up to the group of you and says, "Whoa, you guys are back!" And at his exclamation, the other few members of the bar all turn and immediately look at your entrance and notice you. And aside from the drunken, bleary-eyed, and looks like he's probably been crying a lot, Gundren, all of them greet you with smiles.
I glamour my armor to be gold plate.
And as it shimmers into this impressive display of heavy armor, golden spikes on the shoulders, some sort of winged design in the center, something you've probably seen in one of your many adventurers coming through the bars that you've worked in the past. You look every bit the hero as you stand there in the doorway.
Also, minor illusion, some confetti, but since it's minor illusion, it just stays.
wow.
And then I minor illusion it on the ground.
It just goes.
Every
Amazing.
time you use minor illusion, I just imagine something like flipping through the ground.
Yeah.
It's like it's an animation at like one frame every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
quite
turned my
load,
animation
yeah.
homework. I did my animation homework the night before.
Effective, nonetheless.
Yeah. They're like, no gut at tweens.
Just hear a, "Hey y'all, it's good to have you back. You want a drink? I was just about to cap
Yes.
off the taps for the night, but I'll make an exception for you."
We would love some drinks.
I would love
Yes.
to drink.
Oh my god. Also, hey Gundren, check it out. We got Nundro here.
Sort of almost afraid of being back in public at this point. Nundro has just been kind of hiding behind you, Oleander, being sort of the largest and most cover in the party at this point, with your pantsuit legs and easy places to sort of tuck behind. Just sort of peeks his head out from behind and just rushes over immediately and wraps his arms around the waist of Gundren sitting at the bar stool. And you watch as Gundren, eyes still bleary from crying about one brother, bursts into a different kind of tears for this one. Jumps down from the stool and gives him a big hug.
Oh.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
Gosh.
And there is loud dwarven sobbing and hugging happening on one end of the bar, and Sildar just sort of rotates on his stool and just says, "Glad to see you back. Safe, I take it. You all look intact."
Physically.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, and
Ale set
Hey.
on the bar for you.
Just let me know if we start leaking anytime we take a drink.
I don't know if you'll ever go down into the mine down there, but if the rock seekers go down there on their own, I'm a little worried about them. There's one beastie that we didn't best down there.
Oh god, I forgot! The skull! Right! I
Just hear
knew
Pip
we
go,
were forgetting.
"Wow, a skull!"
Oh, there was
Wait, that's Pip that says this?
Yeah.
Pip, there were
He looked
so
like this,
many
and I'll make a tiny
skulls.
one in my hands.
There were a lot of skulls, but one of them could talk.
That's so
Well, no, two of them could talk. One was a ghost. The other was a sort of a flaming skull man, and we made a deal with him that we didn't really fill up. So
We just haven't gotten to it yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This chair
If
from
any
the
of y'all
far
heads out
end of the
there-
bar, just like, sounds like you have a lot of stories to tell. Then
Yeah.
Oh,
My man.
and this sort of gives like a little bit of a sheepish wave, being the last to speak up.
Do you need another drink?
I'd be happy to. That'd be fun.
All right.
And you
Oh,
watch as Toblin sets another full ale on the counter. Now 5 in total.
I will pick up the 2. Walk towards Elmond and drop one in front of him. Not quite going off to tell tales yet, but
He just sort
give me a-
of gives a nod and just kind of gives you a head shake to say like, I can wait. Go do your thing. Kind of a look.
I'm trying to find out if Winchester likes beer.
Okay.
God.
How are you doing this?
I just like putting the mug down in front of his face and just like, we can share. It's fine.
You put it down. He like gives it a couple big sniffs, and you watch as the third eye on his forehead just like opens widely, and he just begins to sort of happily like the dip his tongue in and out of it. Foam everywhere, all over the wolf face, just almost dunking the whole head in there. Beer
I'll
all
take a
over the
picture of
floor. It's adorable.
Woo! All right.
And as you all make your way over to your usual long table, somewhat in the center of the bar, you are seated. Toblin calls out from the far side, "Just let me know if I can get you any food. I don't have anything, prepared as far as hot stuff goes, but any of the cold fare in the back. Cheers. Let me know."
Toblin.
My stomach is a little weird after
Yeah, I don't know what I.
yeah. We might wait on that. There were some fluids involved. I'm good with the ale right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
It's
enough.
essentially bread. It's food.
Yeah, it's protein, maybe.
He sort of
Deep
tips an
knowledge.
imaginary hat and gives a wink and just sort of like leans back on a stool behind the bar and just sort of watches. All right, you're all seated there at your favorite table, alive in one piece and stronger than you were when you got here in the first place by a long shot.
It's stronger than ever.
I feel like my number went up.
Yeah. Number go up.
Go up.
Truly, our number did go up.
Do we want to take a peek at those magical
Oh, yeah.
items?
Identify party.
While we chill out here.
I chug like half the ale and then just say, "Bring them on."
I pour a little bit of my ale into Ambrose's ale.
Yeah, pay your dues. Put a little bit in there.
I love the idea of like Ambrose just knowing like, all right, it's identify time, like cracks the knuckles, give me some of your beer, come on. Settling
He's just,
down
like,
for
identifying, like,
probably
force.
like an hour of like just sitting there like constantly like reciting the same ritual over and over and just being inundated with information.
Imagine him like putting like 90s hacker gloves on and like
Pulling down like a VR headset and being like, I'm in.
There's extremely cool music playing in my head.
yeah, that's right.
That's an Aphex Twin going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Window Liquor is playing somewhere in the background.
Yeah. Fucking grandma's voice chair.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and see. As you prepare your ritual for the first of the many items, what would you like to identify first? There's a long list of stuff. I'm not going to make you sit here and like do all the other stuff, but just tell me which one you want to do, and I'll tell you what it does.
Let's do that sunburst sword first.
Sunburst sword. Okay. Let's see. As you conclude the ritual on the short sword, in addition to its abilities, you recognize that it does indeed come with a name. This is Lightbringer. It is a +1 short sword, and it, when wielded, and commanded to do so, it will glow as bright as a torch does. And while glowing, the sword also deals an extra 1d6 radiant damage on each hit to undead creatures.
Ooh, cool. Sick.
And
Nice.
all of these, as I'm saying them, if someone wants to add them into their inventory or anything like that, or like look at the actual descriptions for them, they are named the way that I say them, and you can find them in your stuff.
Do you want to take it for now, Bree?
I'll take it for now.
Yeah, go for it.
Something
And
feels a little too on the nose about the halfling having a glowing sword.
No. What did
I
I
was
do?
gonna say, but,
What do you
Like
know?
maybe,
talking
maybe
about?
another.
Another cool rope sword. That's not on the nose.
What? Rugrats or something?
Yeah.
nobody's ever done that before. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
oh boy. Let's look at that ceramic jug next.
Yeah. What's with that?
Pull out the ceramic jug and uncork the top of it, and inside is still that sort of semi-viscous bronzen liquid. And as you begin to identify it, you realize that this is not intended to be ingested or drank, but worn.
Oh. Okay.
And it is a magical armor that can be poured onto the body and then will effectively just encase it in armor that follows sort of every curve and movement of the body like a second skin, but hard as steel.
Hell yeah. Cool.
So it is a magical armor. When you attune to it, the bronze adheres and contours to your skin, fitting the entire torso, covering the shoulders but ending halfway above the arms and halfway down the thighs. It can be worn under normal clothes if you want to. It doesn't impede bodily functions, and once you put it on, it cannot be removed at all unless you choose to do so or you die. And then while wearing the armor, you also have resistance to fire damage, and being medium armor, it has the advantage of not imposing disadvantage on stealth checks.
Okay.
What's it add to your, or does it make your AC something?
It does. I do not have the stats on me, but I think that it is basically. I think it's the same as what a breastplate would be.
Okay.
So
What's it? It's called just
it's
magical.
called
armor?
molten bronze skin.
Cool.
Molten Bronze Skin of the Forge.
Let me see which one it is, because I made a couple different copies of it because I got a little confused trying to make it and make all the different things work for it.
Hope y'all appreciate all this custom shit that Evan's making for us.
We are
certainly
appreciating the hell out of it.
So let's see. I think it's molten bronze skin +1.
Ah. Got it. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
that's the correct one.
Okay.
That's an item that exists. I just modified it because I wasn't a fan of how it was originally. All right, what is the next item? You have
Does
a bunch
anybody
of stuff.
want the molten bronze skin, or do we just want to put that in the undecided pot?
Yeah, maybe we can just divvy stuff up over Telegram, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we have a
okay.
2 week break coming up,
Yeah,
but
let's do that.
we can at
Yeah,
least find out what
so-
stuff does and then figure
Yeah.
that out
Yeah.
later.
Right.
Let's find out about that needle.
Yeah, the I believe it was called a magical tattoo.
Yeah, that is a spell wrought tattoo that contains a single cantrip that is wrought onto your skin by a magic needle, and to use it, you just hold the needle against your skin, speak the command word, which you now know after identifying it, and the needle turns into the ink and disappears, becoming a tattoo. And once the tattoo is there, you can cast the spell contained within it, requiring no material components, and the tattoo glows faintly while you cast the spell. The spell contained in this one is Firebolt, just a cantrip. But it does grant that. Let's see. It can be applied anywhere on the body, though it takes up a space of the body equal to about the same amount of room as like an upper arm tattoo would be.
Okay.
So that could be the scalp, that could be the chest, that could be something else, but wherever you would like to put it, you may do so, and it provides that ability.
I might take that, but we can divvy that up later.
Yeah,
And
that's
then, last thing, can be applied anywhere on the body as designs, ley lines, filigree, whichever appearance you sort of decide for it when you apply it. And any sort of hair growing in the area is changed to the color of the ink, a deep bluish raven black. So if anyone sort of growing hair on their head or elsewhere on their body were to put it in one of those places, it would change that hair into that.
I wish real tattoos work that way.
Right?
I wish I had a gray body.
Hey, same. Did I have it in my list? We identified the black spider staff, right?
Yes.
You did, yeah. That was just called, I believe, spider
Yeah,
staff.
you did it.
Yeah.
I
We just
think
didn't
I
attune
have
to
it
it.
right now. I just haven't attuned to it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had a big list. of
Which,
stuff.
if we're just chilling here, I might attune to that now.
Yeah, might as well.
There was the black book.
There was also the wand that we found.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look at that wand.
The wand, as you conclude your ritual over it, and a second round of drinks is brought to you, now it being about 30 minutes of just sort of sitting here and identifying and y'all making small talk as Ambrose concentrates and just sort of sips from a mug. That one, Ambrose, as you finish identifying it, your smile just sort of ear to ear. This is a favorite spell of yours contained here. It is a wand of magic missiles.
God, I was worried it was going to be a wand of ice knife.
I put it into my mouth.
And so for that, this wand has 7 charges. While holding it, you can expend an action you can use an action to expend one or more of its charges to cast Magic Missile. For 1 charge, you cast the first level. You can increase the spell slot level of that spell by how many charges you expend. So if you wanted to, you could basically cast Magic Missile at 7th level using this.
I was gonna say.
Whoa!
That's scary.
Game bending.
Okay.
Bust it out for the big bad.
Caveat, however, is that the wand regains 1d6 plus 1 expended charges every day at dawn. And if you expend the wand's last charge, you have to roll a d20. If you roll a 1, the wand crumbles to ash and is destroyed.
Yeah. Similar to the some of the other magical sticks.
Correct. Yeah. So, good to have one in the bank sort of for emergency purposes, but better choice just to keep one on reserve.
Yeah. Can I also take a look at the small vial that we found?
Yeah, that was during this episode, right?
The question mark.
Yeah.
What potion we got?
Oh yeah, the potion.
Oh yeah, that is a potion of vitality.
Sick.
Let me look up what that does, just so I don't mince my words here. Yeah. So, is it potion of vitality? Let me double check.
I do know.
Yep. When you drink this potion, it removes any exhaustion you are suffering, all the way up to 5 levels of exhaustion because 6 is death. Cures any disease or poison affecting you, and then for the next 24 hours, you regain the maximum number of hit points for any hit die you spend. So if your hit die is a d6, you just automatically have a 6
Cool.
every time you roll.
Yeah,
Great
somebody
for a slog.
add that to your
I think you should probably take it.
inventory.
Yeah.
And then,
Put it in my inventory for now.
yeah, that's a really good one to hang on to in case you do end up in a situation that causes exhaustion to the party, because that can be really debilitating, and clearing that instead of taking 3 or 4 days can be done in an instant with that.
And then just two last things. I have an item that's just listed as key that I don't think we ever used.
I think that was the key that you used for the door to the vault.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was the one that you found on the Black Spider, then yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The Black Book.
Yeah, that was the last one.
And then the Black Book, of course. This is indeed Morminsk's spell book, the sort of ghastly apparition that you had learned that story from. It has several spells inside of it. I'll list them off quickly here because there's a bunch, and you can sort of go over this over the next few weeks and sort of decide if you want to keep or add any of these. But it includes Create Bonfire, Gust, Friends, Chill Touch, Alarm, Catapult, Featherfall, Mage Armor, Shield, Arcane Lock, Sending, Earthbind, Suggestion, Gentle Repose, Liamon's Tiny Hut, and Fireball.
Ooh,
Nice.
Oh my god.
Tiny
Good
Hut and
shit.
Fireball, baby. Hell yeah.
That rules.
What happens when you do a very powerful wizard a very big favor?
What name is this under?
It is not under a name. I will just send you
Oh.
the list of spells, and you can
okay.
just add that to the ones that you could add to your spell book following the rules of paying the gold and stuff to do so.
Okay.
Bro, I'll give you gold for that.
And I think the spellcasters maybe should hang on to those 3 diamonds.
Those are useful.
Spellcasters / anybody who could use them at some point.
Yeah. I'm sure one of us needs something with diamonds.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But
Do I need to identify that pipe at all?
Pipe? No, it is non-magical. However,
Okay.
it is valuable at 150 gold pieces. Should you wish to sell it.
Nice.
Ooh, I'm gonna, instead of immediately hawking it, I want to bust out that pipe and ask Gundren if he's got any herb.
Hell yeah!
You make your way over to the bar where he and his brother have just been sitting, sort of like reconnecting for a moment. Sildar is sort of seated just one stool away, giving them a polite amount of space, and just you can tell he's just sort of like drifting off to sleep, but doesn't want to leave Gundren here. And as you approach, he just sort of turns and says,
Bree. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. Thank you.
I mean,
I
Yeah.
really thought I lost my whole family back there. And you brought my brother back. Thank you.
I hope that I don't know what your plan is next, but if you want to stick around Phandalin and make the forge work again, I think you could.
I got some thinking to do about that. I know for me, a lot of bad memories there.
and he sort of glances over at Nundra, who's just giving a look that's kind of like,
Maybe not.
I think my brother's kind of feeling the same, but I mean, we've also got that rock seeker greed. Maybe we can make it work. We'll see. We're resilient.
Sometime. I wanted to ask a favor.
Anything, name it.
Those stones of those rocky talkies you gave us.
Aye, the sending stones.
Yeah. Could I take those?
and just pulls the one that he was still hanging onto out of his pocket and just presses it into your palm and puts a hand on top of it. He says, anything you want.
So, I don't think any of us smoke, so,
Are you asking me for smoke leaf here?
I mean, you know,
Yeah, right.
it's been a while.
And sort of like casts a glance over towards Toblin behind the bar, who's like, sort of rolls his eyes, he's like,
Yeah, y'all can smoke it in here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just go over by the fireplace. I don't want my wife to get mad.
classic life.
Sort of like leans up for a second.
Like, all right, maybe let me get him out of here too.
And he sort of gestures over, and you can see, like, in one of the booths, sort of over by the fireplace, Pip's just sort of curled up and asleep, and Droop's just still on the floor in front of the fireplace, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right, so
you watch as Gundren sort of like scurries over to where Pip is and just like very gingerly picks him up and brings him over to Choplin's, like, just does that sort of like touch on the side of the nose, sort of scratches at his beard for a second and reaches into his pouch and like, all right,
let's kick this off with a bang then.
Yeah.
sort of takes the pipe from you, loads it. And,
All right.
you know what? Y'all are getting
Roleplay being high.
D&D
Woo!
high.
Is this? Is this like somewhere between real world tobacco and weed?
Give me just a second.
Bro, you're doing fantasy coke.
Okay.
This is just DMT, the spirit molecule.
Whoa. Colors.
Oh God, no, brain chemistry works different.
It's not in my library, but I have made this as an item for other people in other campaigns, and I will forward that to you during our break.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Incredible.
Woo.
It's like a +1 to some stuff and a -2 to a bunch of other stuff. So it's just kind of
Alright,
how it works out. But yeah.
Yeah. Me
It's
and-
somehow a plus and minus to insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're really
Me and-
perceptive, but you're usually wrong. Am I being cool?
Yeah.
Guys, am I not being cool?
Yeah.
Like me.
No.
As
Me
you
and the dwarves just hang out by the fireplace and get a little high.
Get a
share
little
some
safe,
stories and chuckle, and your face is just sort of warm from both the smoke leaf and the ale that Toblin is just freely pouring at whatever sort of behest you may have at now probably like 5 in the morning.
Oh man.
After maybe the third or fourth round, he just sort of comes and says,
Hey, listen, I took the little one behind the bar, but I'm just gonna get him home for a minute. If y'all want to refill, I'll left the taps in. Just help yourselves.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on the place.
All right.
We'll keep an eye on the place.
Thanks, Toblin.
and I would imagine probably during that time, while you all sat in front of the fireplace, Elman did make his way over and just didn't really insert himself into any conversation, but just sort of scooted up and sat cross-legged at a respectful distance.
I was just about to walk over to him. I will sit myself down next to him and pull out my what is now quickly becoming kind of like a I would have found some sort of like somewhat stiff leather case to keep these prints in, and I would make sure that his ale is full and mine is as well, and start pulling them out and going through them, speaking, explaining what we're looking at. I definitely know that there's a image of the lots of kind of landscapes of the Cave of Wonders, the Wave Echo Cave.
All of
Kind of
them
like-
in varying shades of sometimes black and white, but in a few places where there was sort of that bioluminescence, bits of color.
Yeah, a bit of blue, like that. Just kind of a picture of the shimmering ceiling, cave ceiling in there, kind of looking like a night sky. A black image with blue water of the wave echo. The actual waves breaking against the cave there. I'll just show him the picture of of Winchester drinking beer again.
Hell yeah.
Like, I know this just happened, but don't you want to see?
Look at it forever.
No, that's
Good.
that's really really cute.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm really impressed with everything you've been doing. I don't know if it's any bar of entry or anything like that, but honestly, you're sort of rapidly outpacing me in skills and abilities, and I had intended to sort of establish whatever sort of Bard College or whatever it was that we were doing as a bit of a collaborative effort, but I feel I'm very quickly getting to the point where I'm learning a lot more from you than you are from me.
I feel like I'm learning.
I'll take your word for it. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm glad you're putting that to good use.
I can't thank you enough for this.
Don't. This is thanks, and sort of gestures to the various images.
I think cat.
Yes?
I'm very glad that I met you here.
As am I. It's been an honor and pleasure, as the polite would say.
I'm sorry if I seem distant sometimes. There are... I've still got a lot of past to think about. And I've still got someone calling to me. And it's maybe hard to hear other people. But I truly appreciate the kindness that you've shown me and my friends. And I hope to continue to repay it and to pay it forward.
Throughout this, he sort of sat up for a moment, and then you could see this sort of like slow, almost deflation. And he opens his mouth to say something and just sort of closes it. Just leans forward and gives you like just the barely even contact kiss on a cheek, and just says, "I understand. Thank you for telling me, and I hope we can still be friends."
I would love that.
Well, I've got to get to bed. It's so early.
Don't need an insight check.
Yeah.
Very impressed with all of your wonderful adventures, and I hope I get to hear more stories and see more pictures. Good night.
And just sort of stands up and waves to everybody else and kind of awkwardly backs away and then turns and makes his way into the back room where he's been making his bunk.
Amazing.
Dude, Glass. I think he was flirting with you.
I'm gonna minor illusion blur myself as I flip. Exactly as I am.
Last puts his head inside the bag of holding and screams
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the void.
That's great.
Glass is gonna walk outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Step outside. It's the sun is just beginning to come up, and you are immediately reminded of, oh, we said we were going to look at this, but you're also sort of stuck with that, do I want to be by myself or do I want to go grab everybody decision.
I'd like to see the sunrise, sure. But if you want some space, of course, I understand. Also, I'm like,
Oleander, I didn't know you followed me out.
no,
Yeah,
no,
He's
it's
out on the porch on his own. I believe the rest of you are kind of
Okay.
oblivious to the nature of the
I'm just
time
kicking
outside.
it inside. I'm a little
Thinking,
crossfaded right now.
I would
I'm
love to
doing
see
great.
us.
It's totally fine to me that Oleander wandered out after me.
Yeah, but I imagine
Um,
that would happen easily.
Hey guys.
Let's go look at it.
Yeah, let's look at the sunshine. I'm sorry about that.
I'll go back in.
No,
Yeah,
hey.
Is Brute still on the ground?
He's shifted position slightly and gone from what looks like a unintended nap to more intentional sleep.
All right, I'll leave him. Bree Ambrose, you want to join Oleander and I for the sunrise?
I'm gonna look at the sun so hard.
Okay.
Completely
Oleander,
silent.
you get time with Bree?
I think
Oh, you said
standing.
cross. Yeah.
Wand still in my mouth, and I just go outside.
Is it like crossways, or are you kind of like clenching it like a cigar?
Like a cigar.
Oh, okay.
I was originally imagining crossways, but cigar is better.
On.
The rest of you do notice that it is not handle first.
Oh.
He's living on the edge.
Truly.
This baby isn't even attuned yet.
That's all right. We got third level spells. we can bring him back.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Ambrose's had I don't know how many ales identifying all that.
Yeah.
It's an easy mistake to make. A lot of mages do it.
Yeah.
As you all step out onto the porch of the Stonehill Inn, you can see off to the east, directly the direction that this faces, that long sort of switchback hill that leads up the trail that you had first entered town to, slowly being lit by long shadows as the sun comes up over the horizon and bathes the sky overhead and what few clouds are there in this gorgeous set of pinks and oranges and light purples. And you hear a few birds beginning to wake up and begin their calls for the day, and around you, most of the town is still. A few folks sort of stepping out to either open up their various shops, as you recognize the few proprietors of the businesses here are rushing about their morning business. Early risers here that rise and fall with the sun, and it's comfortable, and there's this sense of well-earned contentment.
It's beautiful. It's like a big
Just
glowing...
kind of unconsciously, like standing next to Oleander, like reaches out and like grabs her pant leg like a toddler lost at the supermarket.
I like hold up a hand and like waver it up and down as I try to decide what the best way is to like reciprocate the gesture without seeming condescending. And then I just kind of like,
Just put your hands in your pockets like sexually. Just like
yes, that is what I do. I'm like,
like, oh no, I didn't mean to be. Well, there. Fuck.
Oh, amazing. Good.
And as you all stand shoulder to shoulder observing this beautiful sunrise in the town that, had your adventures gone differently, very much might not be at peace at this time. You admire another sign of your handiwork, and it feels nice. But the day here in Phandalin is beginning. Is there anything you would like to do?
I've got an errand to run.
Okay.
Yeah, I could. I've got somebody I'd like to talk to. I think I've got something I'd like to return.
I want to go visit the post office. I don't know what everybody else is feeling.
I should probably come to see if any letters have come in.
I'm gonna go to talk to Sister Garreley, whose name I remembered.
Just imagine Oleander saying this out loud.
Whichever of the two of you would like to go first, you're more than welcome to. Or I guess three of you, since two of you
Did
have
you want
a
to tackle the post
destination
office
coming.
first? Feel free.
Okay. You make your way over to the Phandalin Dove Post and Miners Exchange, where your last visit here you had climbed onto the rooftop and had a clandestine conversation with Halia that revealed a lot about your past, Bree. And Ambrose, this is probably, aside from visiting in shortly, maybe only your second time here.
Yeah.
And as you make your way up to the front steps, you can see that the interior is dimly lit by some sort of torch or candlelight, and behind, through the sort of shimmery, distorted plate glass, you can see that there is someone indeed standing behind the long bar, sort of backed by all of those cubby holes filled with maps and scripts and various letters going to and fro. And as you enter, you step in and can see Halia Norton standing there with sort of both arms pressed over the front of the bar, just looking directly at the door, very expectant of your arrival. I see you
Pretty.
made it back. Congratulations. Wizard?
That's... Man,
Yeah,
imagine putting
Tier two.
together all of my composure. I'm just like, that's me.
Still too many on the wand.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have gotten fucked up before doing this, but whatever. Let's roll with it.
No, it's better this
This
way.
is that like going to breakfast like feeling that you have after being out all night.
Yeah.
She's pretending the wand is like her cigarette, the long holder.
Oh, I'm putting the wand away now. Probably shouldn't run around with that in my mouth
Amongst
after I tripped on some grass earlier.
You watch as Haley just sort of reaches up from behind her ear and grabs a cigarette and lights it with a match and sort of leans back on the back wall. So, what is it you've come to me for this morning? You've not been back in town long, I imagine.
Yeah, and I don't think we're staying long. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to give you this. I'm gonna hand her one of the Rocky Talkies that I can never remember the actual name of.
So in the first piece.
Stones of Far Speech,
Sending stone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sending Stone.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm gonna give her one of them and just show her mine and say, I assume you probably know how these work. You seem to get a lot of intel, and I'm pretty short on that these days. My, network is non-existent. If you ever feel like sharing any of it, I'm just on the other end of that line.
She sort of leans forward and like blows out like a long breath of smoke and sets the stone on the table and just sort of slides it towards you. I have means of contacting you should I need to. Trust me. This is a kind gesture, but I assure you, it will be better used in your hands. Additionally, I am not in the business of
giving away secrets, merely collecting them. If you do desire information owned by my network, it must be earned. I do not make the rules, I simply respect them.
I just really thought you, thought I was too harmless to actually do anything with this information, so maybe you just give it to me, I don't know.
Fucking decked out halfling with super strength.
Yeah, I just want you all to picture Bree as she's saying this.
Standing on top of Winchester to make eye contact.
It appears I have underestimated you several times, and I don't wish to make that mistake again. It is not easy for me to admit fault, so take it as a compliment.
I underestimate myself all the time, so I get it. And thank you for the information. Yeah. Keep an eye out for the three-eyed owl.
I do believe the two of us have a conversation to be had in private at some point, but your friend here, I believe, needs something?
Is there mail for me? Ambrose, the wizard.
Ambrose, yes. No, I'm sorry, there's not.
Oh, okay, cool. I turn an exact 180 and just leave.
She sort of leans forward and just from inside of her shirt pulls this out and says,
This arrived for your friend. I just wanted to speak in private.
and passes to you, Bree, a small slip of paper.
Great.
Should you be interested in earning those secrets, as I mentioned, as opposed to simply being given them, where is it you are headed next? Nearby, if you don't seem to know, as your expression betrays, should you make your way to Tribor, there is a man by the name of Erlen Stockspool. He is a recruiter for the Black Network. Additionally, between you and I, and should you be interested in joining our ranks, I would be happy to induct you here myself at this moment.
Don't do it! She seems evil! She seems evil!
What if she might give you a gun?
That would be cool.
Guns are bad.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh no. Oh my
Preview
God.
into real life.
Every D&D campaign needs a Tommy.
Mm,
What a high compliment.
yeah.
That I will accept and you do not get to deny.
Okay.
Don't do drugs, Bree. You already did drugs. We've lost her.
You did drugs this morning and now you're joining a gang?
Truly. What's happening?
Oh boy.
And so as the offer hangs in the air here in the quiet stillness of the Dove Post, she just sort of takes another long draw on her cigarette and sort of eyeballs you, waiting for your answer.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm smart enough for the secrets stuff.
That's a judgment I have made myself, and that you do not get to weigh in on.
Shit.
But
Wait.
if you are unsure, perhaps you should be certain first. Very well. Should you change your mind, I will be here, and Erlen will be in Tribor.
Alright. Yeah, I think there's like an angel and a devil on my shoulder I have to consult with or something. I don't know.
If you ever
Get
learn,
out!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
if you ever learn to ignore them, you know where to find me.
Noted. Thanks for everything, Halia.
Good luck.
Kiss her. I don't know which one said that.
Yeah, me neither. Man, the angel is really horny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Okay.
Travel wisely, friend. Should you find your way back in my direction? We've never met.
Yep. Noted.
Thank you for coming to the Fendelin Dove Post and Miners Exchange. Have a nice day.
Take care.
As you like begin to make your way out of the door, you just see that she sort of like keeps her still, very, very blank face, and just right as you're about to leave the door, there's like just the slightest hint of a half smile.
Oh my god.
As we, oh, well, I guess you want to step out, and if you have mail now to deliver, you may do that, or we can pop over to what Leander would like to do.
I'm just staring directly into the sun. So this is a good time.
Maybe you should do that.
I kind of just stayed where we were sitting watching the sunrise. So I don't know if Ambrose, you want to come back and sit next to me and stare at the sun?
I imagine that when any one of us is left unattended, it's like an NPC in Skyrim, just like walking sideways into a wall.
Yeah.
Ah! Stop!
Okay. Sister Garrely.
All right. So, Oleander, as you depart from your friends, all standing on the porch and viewing the sunrise, you make your way over in the direction of where you know Sister Garrely's house to be. But before you reach that location, you look over to the small horseshoe-shaped assembly of rocks, all covered in that verdant green moss, well attended by the sister, and you see her in her usual spot, going through very carefully each of the stones and ensuring that the moss is growing nicely and that everything is exactly as it should be.
Hey, sister. What's up? Hi.
Hey.
Hello, we're back. Hi.
What? Oh, I'm so glad you got me. Bleh. Bleh. I'm glad you're back safe.
Yeah,
God.
I just wanted to come over to thank you for the bandage, the enchanted bandage. That really helps when we need
Oh,
it.
of course.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to give you this. And
Okay.
yeah, as a what the fuck, Nero? What the fuck, Nero? Nero just texted something in the player's chat.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
fine. Let's see. I have a. Yeah, I have a. I still have the Pearl of Power is gone from that jewel pouch I picked up a while back. But there's still 5 carnelians and 2 paradots in there, which should come to a total of 10, 50, 30. That's 80 GP.
Wait, you.
There you go, little souvenir. In case you need to fix up the chapel or anything, you know. I don't know.
Thank you. That's really sweet. I feel this makes this awkward. This is something we can talk about later, but how about you bring your friends over to my house tonight for dinner? There's something I wanted to talk to all of you about.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds great.
Cool.
Let's see
And
Hey.
just like a hint or whatever, you know how like souvenirs come from like a place that like, you know, somebody goes there and then they come back and they bring you like a souvenir or whatever because you're not going to see them for a while. That may not be the case. So.
Oh, well. Cool.
It depends, but anyways, we'll talk about it
You
later.
can just keep it anyways. It's fine. It's cool. There was. Yeah, don't worry about it. Cool. Awesome. We'll see you later tonight then.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like sundown, something like that. Whatever.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we're just gonna split the dish.
We're gonna be out of our minds.
All locked out. So yeah, totally. Let's do it.
All right, see. And she just sort of like giggles awkwardly and like goes back to like. You can tell that she's almost like pretending to like mess with the stuff around like her shrine, but is more so just sort of being like, I don't know what else to say in this conversation. I was expecting such a huge gift because 80 GP is a ton of money.
Yeah. Well,
She just
okay.
stacking rocks on top of each other.
Later. And they just kind of like sort of stiffly walk away like, fuck.
And as you rejoin the rest of your friends and turn around, you see stepping out of the front of the Dove Post and Miners Exchange, first Ambrose, and then as you arrive at the porch with Ambrose and Glass, a few minutes later you're joined also by Bree. All together now then.
Hey, how'd the post office thing go? How y'all doing?
Yeah, what happened?
It was great. No new mail.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I talked with Sister Garrily a little bit, and she said that she wants to invite us all over for dinner, where she has an intriguing proposition for us later. So, if y'all want to, like, I don't know, schmie around or take a nap or something, I don't know. My head's starting to hurt. But yeah. So, dinner is a thing.
Can I insight?
Orlando's crashing a little at this point.
Yeah.
You wanted to
Can I
insight check someone?
check Bree
Sure.
on no new mail?
Make a deception check, and you make an insight check, and it'll just be a contested roll.
Right.
Just be glad this isn't reversed.
Yeah, truly. Your insight.
Oh.
Yeah, even 13.
Even 13, and then for you,
10.
10. Hard to tell.
You didn't get
Straight-faced.
anything.
Okay.
Learning the tricks of the trade, it seems she is.
I was gonna say, I gotta get better at deception if I'm gonna be a fucking Black Knight character.
All right, Bree. Thanks for being honest as always.
Oh,
Something I value in you as a friend.
you know it. Hey, no news is good news, right?
And as that word hangs in the
Oh,
air,
made up.
as you say, no news is good news, Oleander,
the world around you is replaced.
Ah!
And you find yourself standing again in the open expanse with black marble floors below you, veined with gold, and in front of you a large stone desk of the same material, behind which sits the 10th Lord of Nine,
Oh my god.
tenting his
Oh,
fingers over
God.
his desk.
I am suddenly so sober right now. Wow. Wow. I don't even know how you. Jesus. Yes, sir. Hello. Yes. Hi. Hi.
You seem
Brought us in a good
woefully underprepared today.
Well, we just got back from a excursion where we vanquished many foes. I actually did a pretty sick double stabbing and mentioned you by name.
I heard! No, I
It was really
actually
cool.
heard it. It came all the way through. I was,
Yeah.
Someone was
I wanna
calling
do
for me,
that
and I
more
realized
often.
it was you.
Just to establish a good line of communique, because I know it's important that,
That things are
Warlocks.
done in my name, yes, of course.
exactly, promote their patrons and stuff. Very crucial part of the agreement. I know that. Yeah.
Thank you. I do appreciate
Totally.
being, praised on the mortal plane at all opportunities. I just wanted to, I don't know, check in for a moment. I think that's what I'm supposed to do here. First question. I don't know how to put this, but I've seen Kevin, sort of pop in and out of here on several occasions, often a little, as for where.
Yeah, it was a little hairy down there, It was pretty spicy. But
Yes.
Kevin was a huge help. He's been an incredible asset to the team.
I mean, you seem fine, but he assures me that he wishes to remain in your service, but do you find yourself satisfied with his performance?
Oh my! Are you kidding me? He's been great. I have no complaints whatsoever. He's helped with reconnaissance. He's helped with attacking in clutch moments where I wasn't able to get over there. He's been useful in distracting, and he's been a really helpful a little devil on my shoulder, giving me some good advice. So I of course appreciate his input and his collaboration as part of our troubleshooting enterprise. Of course.
And you're sure, I often find that, weaknesses in one's servants can prevent itself as an exploitable flaw in the master, which is exactly the reason that I want to ensure that you, my servant, are well equipped, and I've extended our connection and contract recently, as per the terms of the agreement, and, granted you several extensions to your ability on the material plane.
And I noticed and I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you. But yeah, trust me. We just sent a Beholderkin and a
Nasty.
very mean drow and many spiders and undead and slimes and all this other nasty stuff back to the wherever their spirits spawned from, and we couldn't have done it without Kev. He's really fantastic. So yeah, I'm willing to I'm very satisfied with his work, and I don't think he'll be a weak link in the chain from here on out.
You watch as his face kind of contorts into this very strange expression that you've never seen. There's almost always just this sort of haughty air of but in this moment there's almost confusion on an always confident face. And you just hear, I think I'm a little bit proud of you.
Oh, thank you, sir. I couldn't have done it without you.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah, I'm like, your hand of justice or vengeance or whatever you're kind of doing. Your hand in the world, the mortal plane, stuff like that. Of course, if you're proud of me, you should be proud of yourself.
You're right, of course. Very well, then. If it is Kevin that you wish to keep, then I'll just have to extend some of my power to him to make sure that he's not, letting you down or getting shunted off back into my office at opportune times. I shall extend your contract just a bit further, then. I'll include access to the investment of the Chainmaster, and Kevin will experience just a bit more autonomy and freedom in any scraps, should you enter into them. I suppose the last bit of things is, are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's been really, like, this has been really good. I won't say it's been easy, like it's been a challenge, but if there's one, I'd say my biggest fault is
Great!
Thank
Thank you so much for letting me know. Really appreciate checking in with you and always hearing back from you. As he checks sort of an imaginary wristwatch, I have so much to do. Keep up the good work. And you watch as he just sort of like freezes in place for a second, sort of trying to think of what's next, and the world just boop, shunts you back into where you were. As the rest of you were sort of having this conversation, you just watched Oleander yet again just sort of stare off into space for a moment.
Yeah.
She gone.
Hi. Sorry. Hello.
Having fun in there?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm no longer intoxicated. That's something. And yeah, I was on a work call there. Sorry about that. But seems like everything's gravy for now, so don't worry about me. Did you say you got any messages? I missed the part to say if you got any messages.
We were just looking at the picture of Winchester drinking beer again.
Oh, I love that picture. I could never get tired of looking at it.
Yeah.
People just looking and pointing and laughing.
Wow.
He loves
The dog drinking beer. Imagine.
Ye old medieval memes.
It's like he's a little person.
This is the first meme. You invented it.
Oh my
Let's
god.
make more of this one.
The old bottom text.
Yeah. The look and write sentiments on top of it that are relatable.
Yeah.
With that,
Well, like I was saying, I don't know if I expressed it very clearly because I was smashed off my ass earlier, but dinner proposition from Sister Garrely. I may have made a bit of an ass of myself back there. I'm slowly realizing that now. Oh God.
Do you need to bring anything?
That's no, just our own sweet selves. Yes, later. Dinner. Sounds good. If
Sounds
you're
good.
down. Free
Sure.
meal.
and with
Since
that,
our
yeah,
internal clocks are all messed up, should we sleep until then?
Let's take a disco.
Yes.
Probably sleep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
all right.
A light nap or a heavy nap or some. I don't know. I might just sit in my bed and read or something. I don't really know how to do this.
As you're all just about to turn to head back into the saloon, you hear the door sort of creak open, and you turn, looking up, and see no one. And then, as your eyes track downward, you just see the floppy ears of Droopy.
Hi, glad to see you back.
Hey, we're back.
It's very nice to meet you. My name's Drew. How are you doing today?
Wow, Drew, you're such a gentleman now. Oh my goodness, I'm Oleander. It's a pleasure.
Sealed Ice been trying to teach me manners.
Oh, good. Thank you, Silver. Wow.
You think he lost
Cool.
his
I
memory?
well, that was an amnesia thing for a second.
It's polite.
Did I say it
That's
right?
very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Well, the townmaster told me to give you this.
Mhm.
I can do this. I can remember. He said to take it to the
And he just sort of like pauses there for a long moment. His face just scrunches up, almost like a pug, for a moment as he just thinks really hard, and his ears just sort of flop down and then perk up as his eyes open up.
you're supposed to deliver this to somebody, but I forgot who, so you're probably going to have to go talk to him and ask him.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, just go talk to the town master. I don't remember where it's supposed to go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Will do. Thanks so much, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I'm so glad I have my best friends back.
We're so glad to have you too. Oh my gosh.
Um,
Cool. So, did we want to go over and knock that out real quick? Talk to the town master first, or do you want to?
I want to sleep.
I need my disco nap.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go take a nap too. I'm going to go to my jail.
Have fun. Catch you around, King of Jail.
Enjoy your kingdom.
It's good to
Sort
see
of.
you out and about, Drew.
Perks up into a very
Yeah.
officious-looking salute and just sort of tromps off through town. And he watches some of the people walking by with carts and stuff at this point just don't even pay him any mind. And a few of them even just sort of wave and he goes,
Hi, good to meet you. My name's Drew.
just sort of continues walking by them.
Sometimes,
They say, yes,
sometimes
we
I
know."
think he'll be too good of a mayor, you know?
Starting to feel that way too.
And as you make your way back into the Stonehill Inn, traverse your way up the stairs to your room that has been held on reserve for you, you step into the 2-bed chambers where you've spent many nights. Lay down your weary heads, despite the forge lag, and make yourselves comfortable and conk out for a little while. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's episode. And we will pick back up here in 2 weeks. We are taking a break, just so everybody remembers. We will not be having a game on the 30th or the 7th, and we will be back here on July 14th. As we prepare for the next leg of our adventure and then give the players and myself some much needed break time. Awesome job, everybody. That is an entire D&D module done.
Wow.
All right.
We're so strong and huge.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy.
We're big.
Bree's gonna join a gang, y'all.
you should join a gang. That would be fun.
I can't believe you didn't do it right then and there. Peer pressure, bro.
It was so unexpected. I don't know.
The thing that I had put in our silly little players chat, by the way, was whispers very loudly. Does she eat the moss?
Oh, back of Sister Garely.
Yeah. Does she?
I mean, you know, she's kind of a like
A
a
girl
girl person.
herself.
Kind of a deer
She
person,
does-
yeah.
So, yeah, that probably
okay.
tracks.
Very interested to see
What she serves
what's
us.
served.
Yeah. What's for Din Din?
I'm sure it'll be
Giant bowls of hot
delightful.
water. Oh,
You should
yum.
have. Yeah.
Watch out, it's spicy.
Looks wet.
Spicy.
It's so gray. Awesome. All right. Well, we do have one donation to read off for the evening. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Big thank you to Mermensk the Elf, who donated $20 with the note that just says, "Thanks for all the good times. Y'all are amazing," with a little heart emoji.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Transgender Law Center appreciates it too. Anything else anybody wants to say before we wrap it up for our break?
Thank you so much, all of y'all watching, for sticking with us. It's been a blast. This has been so fucking fun, and thank you all for letting me play along with you. This rules.
Yeah,
Oh my
this
god,
is great.
This is great. Ha.
Thank you all for
Okay.
being awesome players. It has been a delight to DM for you so far, and I'm excited to start our next big adventure.
I am so excited to start our next leg with our cool new moves.
Oh
Yes.
my
Just
god.
looking at all the stuff we
Yes.
get.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna try to
Fly on
like throw
myself.
something in there between like Wave Echo Cave and coming back to town, just so you got to like flex your like fighting muscles. And I was like, you know what? It's just not gonna
Nah,
fit the
let's-
episode
let's
tonight.
save it.
It'll be more fun if we
I
wait.
halfway thought
Yeah.
about casting hypnotic pattern on my friends.
Awesome.
Awesome visuals for the Wii.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, that would have been great.
Did you ever look at your hand? Really?
Oh.
A bright future in stage design for you.
Truly.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you. We'll see you back here on July 14th with same players, same characters, but a new adventure to tackle, and we'll dig in when we get there. But until then, take care. Please be safe. Take care of each other, and we love you. Thanks for watching.
Tell your friends about us. Now's a great time to catch
Yeah.
up.
Cool.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.